evening, ladies and gentlemen. A day after the Modi government stunned the world by delivering the highest ever GDP anybody has seen in the recent past, 7.2% for the last financial year, the opposition is attempting to dismiss the figures as doctored or insignificant. But the numbers confirm the confidence the larger world has shown in the India story, clearly visible in the performance of key sectors, including manufacturing, farm to services. The performance amidst global downturn seems to have filled the government with energy as it approaches the next general elections in just a few months from now. On the Newshour tonight, we bring to you 3 star ministers from the Modi cabinet who are shining light on the vision, the planning and the path taken to script the success story. In the next 1 hour, we will talk to Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal, Civil Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, and Road and Surface Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari. Each one of them scripting a success story that clearly has defined the India story.
Very gracious of you, Mr. Piyush Goyal, for joining us here at the India Economic Conclave, where the best minds are looking at the Indian economy, which is a bright spot. And the numbers yesterday, extremely heartening, with India growing at 7.2%, clearly way above other economies which are at the moment seen to be struggling. 9 years, 7.2% GDP growth rate clocked. Is it a great story for the Modi Sarkar, Mr. Piyush Goyal?
I think it's a great story for India. What matters is that the country today is on the move. The people of India feel empowered. The people of India are collectively in a new mindset, a mindset of a developed nation. Wherever I go, the youth feels encouraged to do more for the country, to work more. There's fire in the belly. I think that's the strength of India which we need to recognize. And that has happened due to the last decade of relentless reform, relentless transformation, effort to meet the basic needs of every citizen of the country, so that once all the basics are taken care of, you have a nation of young Indians, boys and girls, aspiring for a better quality of life, all the good things of life, connected digitally, 800 million internet users in the country, and almost every family having a television, watching on television what's happening across the world. And that aspiration is what is driving the new India. Of course, the stable government that the people of India elected the second time over in 2019, giving Prime Minister Modi an absolute majority, has been a very important element of this success story. His decisive leadership and his sensitive personality have helped combine development with empathy for the poor. So, which is why we say this has been 9 years of service, 9 years of a better future for the poor, the marginalized sections, the less privileged sections of society, and 9 years of good governance, collectively defining the India story.
Mr. Piyush Goyal, you said young Indians have fire in the belly, but there is a young Indian lighting fires, figuratively so, in Parliament, and there are not so young Indians heading various opposition parties who don't seem to be convinced with the delivery of the Modi Sarkar. How do you respond to them?
Navika ji, very often in politics you're almost reduced to a level of opposing for the sake of opposition. And sadly today that's what is reflected in their behavior. I mean, a matter of national pride like the new parliament building, getting rid of the colonial building which has housed our main Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha chambers for the last 75 years, should have been the collective pride of every Indian. And even putting that into a controversy, not allowing Parliament to function with a single point agenda which didn't have any basis, finding every possible excuse to literally speak badly about the country and our countrymen on foreign shores only reflects a very poor mindset. I think the nation is going to decide to almost ignore such negativity. We are a nation who looks at positive things. नकारात्मक सोच को देश ने पूरी तरीके से ध्वस्त करने का निर्णय ले लिया. अब सकारात्मक सोच ही इस देश को आगे लेके जाएगी.
But they won the elections in Karnataka. Why did that happen if there was so much of negative
There could have been a variety of reasons, and elections will be won and lost. There will be hiccups in this growth journey, the development journey. But in terms of the popularity of the Prime Minister, both in India and universally across the world, is at a high. He is the only Prime Minister who's never seen his rankings or his popularity go below 50% throughout his 9-year term. Internationally, the last Pew report, I think, or the Morning Consult report, whichever report you look at, they are all reflecting him to be the most popular leader in the world. So I think bottom line is the people are appreciating the good work. The people understand how good the nation's future looks like, how he has impacted almost every person in the country, every section of society, whether it's nearly 4 crore homes. Can you imagine? It's twice the population of Australia. And in terms of families, 8 times the number of families of the whole Australian continent who've got a free home in the last few years. Can you imagine the dignity that has been provided to the poor over 9 years of relentless work? I think people understand and appreciate that. And to my mind, Prime Minister Modi has to serve this nation for many, many more years. The people want that. The world is seeing in him that leader who can deliver, that leader who can take the country out of the morass that we had inherited in 2014. The fragile 5 to top 5 economy story is something that every Indian is proud of. And I think elections will come and go, but Prime Minister Modi's popularity, the love and affection the people have in him, the trust that he has earned due to his hard work is something nobody can take away.
Mr. Piyush Goyal, Morgan Stanley has been extremely complimentary of the Indian economy and the decisions taken by your government. There is a global phenomenon of the acknowledgement of the pace of growth and the pace of reforms in India. Yet, the question I want to ask you is that politics is the art of convincing. Why is it that the government sees a breakdown in the process of dialogue, and why do you think, as far as the parliament benches are concerned, there is no consensus, there is no dialogue? In fact, what we've seen is a worsening of the confrontation status.
Well, we are keen to have a dialogue and have sought every opportunity to try and reach out to the opposition, our colleagues. We all talk informally very often. As soon as the cameras switch off, then everybody is a different person altogether. So,
are you saying congressmen speak to you differently on camera and differently off camera?
90% of the congressmen individually come and tell us, we feel very bad. We would have loved to be a part of the parliament function, but unfortunately we are told we cannot go. Even during parliament days, the frustration that every member of parliament of the opposition has, that they are not able to raise the voice on issues of interest to the people of their constituency or of their state. The fact that almost everybody who's a public representative wants to be the voice of his constituents is evident from them. But if your leadership is weak, if your leadership is indecisive, if your leadership is uncertain of itself, or if your leadership is smug, as we are seeing nowadays, then well, it's very unfortunate. The breakdown is only causing the nation to suffer, and the people of India are watching. As they say, ये जनता है जो सब जानती है और जनता समझदारी से अपना काम करेगी.
Mr. Piyush Goyal, there are issues, there are challenges for the Indian economy. Whether you look at job creation, whether you look at unemployment, very often you must have been asked the question on the promise of 2 crore jobs per year that was promised by your government, the delivery with the comparison to that promise. Do you think the challenges that we are seeing at the moment are surmountable? Do you think the India shining is going to repeat itself?
We are very practical, we are very clear in our vision, we are very clear in what we believe is possible and not possible. And therefore what we are looking at is opportunities of work. And the people of India also understand that ultimately it's work that is going to matter. A government job is possibly what the opposition party keeps referring to all the time. I wish they would understand that some of their actions are actually hurting India big time. When they go around passing these freebies, they are not empowering the people of India, they are weakening India's potential for the future. We have all seen those old days before 2014, and since many of you must be from Delhi, I'm sure you remember those days where you couldn't live without a DG set in your home. You couldn't live or work without a UPS on your computer. I remember in 2014 when I just joined government, 9 years to the day, 26th of May 2014, I was given the charge of power. Within 2 days of that, there were some thunderstorms and the entire northern grid collapsed. It's not as if thunderstorms haven't happened after that. But Prime Minister Modi went to the root of the problem. He created a national grid. So today India is one of those rare countries with a pan-India single grid which ensures stability in our power supply, which ensures no region will have to pay exorbitant prices, which ensures that wherever the demand increases, we can meet that demand. Unfortunately, some places are not investing enough on local infrastructure, and Delhi is one of those. I am actually worried for the people of Delhi, given the way they are splurging government money on advertisements on Times Now and other.
We don't get. We are the channel that exposed the Sheesh Mahal. We don't get any ads.
We don't get any ads. But I think this is the kind of journalism that India respects and India likes to see, which is fearless, which is honest. And I urge you to continue to be that way and not fall prey to falsehoods and false propaganda.
While you talk about the innovation, the strides that India has made, Mr. Rahul Gandhi in the United States has said that you're a country, you're making this a country where you are lying down and all that. How do
What
you
is all that? हम इज्जत से अपने भगवान के सामने साष्टांग नमस्कार करें. ये हमारी विरासत है, ये हमारा इतिहास है, ये हमारी परंपरा है और हम इसके लिए बहुत गौरवान्वित महसूस करते हैं. We are proud. I am very proud हिंदू. मैं खुद साष्टांग नमस्कार करता हूँ बड़ों के सामने या भगवान के सामने. उसमें मुझे कोई शर्म नहीं है, कोई उसमें मुझे एम्बैरेसमेंट नहीं है. वो फेक टीका लगा के सब जो बोलने का काम करते हैं, उनको चिंता करनी चाहिए कि एक तुष्टीकरण की नीति से देश को कोई भला नहीं होने वाला है. This country wants equality. Everybody having a right to follow their religion, follow their culture, respect their traditions. And I think India's strength comes from our traditions. When our children do well, as families we feel proud because in India we still maintain a culture of family values. I think speaking in the US and deriding your own country, your own culture, your own tradition, your history, your belief is a very sad reflection on a person's integrity and a person's feelings for his fellow countrymen.
He also feels, and the entire opposition feels, that democracy is in peril today. You've unleashed all kinds of agencies, the ED, the CBI, which see them more often than members of parliament from your government do. They also say that, look at a situation. We were speaking with Mr. Scindia. We've spoken to the petroleum minister. Nobody wants to lower their tax rates or make petrol or ATF cheaper. Look at the situation in Delhi where the Supreme Court gives a verdict and then your government brings in an ordinance. Each one of these. And look at the way you talk about the media as well. You say that you get advertisements. They say we are Godi media. Everywhere there is confrontation. Why is there so much confrontation?
Well, that's a package of 6 or 7 questions. And as I told you, I have to receive
in one over 6 balls are allowed.
Nepal Prime Minister just now. So I'll try to encapsulate all these issues as quickly as I can. But, well, if democracy was in peril, then it was during the emergency. In 1975, when over 100,000 political activists were put behind bars without even a process of law. Show me a single person today who doesn't have the freedom of speech. See the newspapers, see your channels all blaring away with their statements. The fact that they're able to speak their mind and whatever they want to say, good, bad, ugly, honest, falsehoods, whatever, all the falsehoods also carry. So I think this bogey about democracy being in danger is not bought by anybody. It's full free speech, freedom of movement, freedom of expression. Everybody is enjoying all the freedoms. Particularly the Congress has no business to be teaching us democracy. They are the one who threw out, I think, maybe over 50 chief ministers arbitrarily. If some chief minister didn't touch the feet, and by the way, not touching the feet lost the chief minister his job. And now they're getting hassled if we touch or pay respect to God. So I think they're really, it's something like, I don't know if you've heard, the deputy leader of the Congress party in Rajya Sabha, the house that I represent. And I don't mind saying his name because he isn't on television saying this. Mr. Pramod Tiwari, deputy leader and the senior most leader of the party in Uttar Pradesh, country's largest state, is on record on television making a statement that the laws of the land, and he's talking of criminal laws, should be different for the Gandhi family. And I'm literally, may not be an exact letter to letter quote, I don't have it. You can actually play it on the screen if you want.
I don't have a PCR which will play out visuals, but...
he's on record to say that the law, criminal law, ladies and gentlemen, of the country should be different for people with a Gandhi surname or from the Gandhi family. And then he goes on to add, I'm not saying in conviction the law should be different. I'm saying in sentencing. That makes it even worse. That means आप गुनाह कर सकते हो और गुनाह का अगर पुष्टि मिले, if you get proof of evidence that a Gandhi family member is also wrong or has done a criminal offense, for that the law is okay. But in the sentencing, because he's from the Gandhi family, there should be a new law, separate law. And to your point about the media, I think sadly, the reports that I'm getting about many media houses reflect that large amounts of advertisements are influencing their decision. We as a government right from 2014 have been at the receiving end of the media. But since Mr. Kejriwal and company are so benevolent in giving you advertisements.
Again? That Operation Sheesh Mahal is a Times Now Navbharat story. Our reporters have gone to jail for it and we do not get...
No, I sympathize with the young reporter. It was very unfortunate what was done to her. But I'm not singling out Times Now, I'm not singling out any media, but the fact, I don't know if you remember that there was some Delhi blasters, business blasters. There was a program, I used to see the advertisement all the time, that they're going to support startups in Delhi schools. I thought it must be some fancy big program, the number of advertisements and number of double-page spreads I saw, I thought it will be some huge program. And then guess what? I found that the total project cost was 60 crores. They were only going to give 60 crores to support the startup ecosystem in schools in Delhi. I think Times Now should now do an RTI or find out information. You'll find a few hundred crores must have been spent on advertising that 60 crore rupee Business Blasters program. And
The RTI should be applied to ED or CBI.
You can apply it to anybody you like, but the fact of life is you did wrong, you're getting caught with your finger in the till. So our work speaks for itself. With the blessings of the people, we believe that we have done a good job. We have been able to meet the aspirations to the extent possible. But as I've said to you earlier, this is a nation which should always permanently remain in a state of aspiration. Aspire for more. That drives growth, that drives prosperity. So let us all always remain aspirational, looking for more, looking for better news from Times Now, looking for better conclaves from Times Now, and looking for better performance from me.
And looking for more time from ministers who are hard-pressed for time.
Honest to God, I had given you
Just
an hour.
before I let you go,
You spent half an hour of it outside.
2024, any anti-incumbency worries that you may have?
Well, I thought we were looking at pro-incumbency.
After 10 years? After 10 years?
This is just the beginning of a long journey. Thank you.
Well, as always, very confident. Thank you very much, Mr. Piyush Goyal, for joining me. Thank you.